So we'll do the first two of these together, and then I'll let you try the last two. And we'll find out which ones are factors and which ones aren't. So for A, if we want to find out something's a factor, again, the remainder would have to be 0. I'm going to call this polynomial p of x. So the first thing we're going to check for A is what is the remainder when we plug in minus 1. Again, you could do synthetic division all the way through and find out what the remainder is that way. Or you can get it by plugging it in. And we saw when you don't have a calculator, with bigger numbers, like when you have 4 and minus 4 later on, it may be easier to use the synthetic division because the numbers won't be as big as when you're plugging it in. But with a small number like -1, it is often easier just to plug it in. Because you get -1 cubed minus 6 times -1 squared. It's 5 times -1 plus 12. -1 minus 6 minus 5 plus 12 is 0. So we can write a statement. So x plus 1 is a factor. For B, since we're dividing by x minus 3 and we want to check if x minus 3 is a factor, we're putting in p of 3. So you're noticing you're always checking the opposite of what is the constant in that binomial. 3 cubed minus 6 times 3 squared plus 5 times 3 plus 12. And that is equal to 0. So x minus 3 is a factor. So I would like you to try those next two. Once we've got our answers for all of them, we are going to write out the final answer. The ones that you can do from your textbook are 10A and 12. And I can tell you right now, looking at the original question, since it's an x cubed, we have already found out 2 of the factors. We found out one of the factors was x plus 1. We found out the other factor was x minus 3. Does it make sense that there can only be one more factor? Because if I multiplied these first 2 out, I would get an x squared. If I had 2 more factors, I would get another x squared, which means that my highest power would be an x to the 4. The fact that the highest power in this original polynomial is x to the 3 means that there can only be 3 factors at most. Sometimes there might just be 2, and one of them is an x plus 1, and the other one's an x squared one that can't be factored further. But at most, there could be 3. So you have 2 left to try. One of them might work. They might both not work, but there's no way both of them will work. So when you try it, you're going to find out, does one of them work or not, and see where we go.